dignitaries on the dais.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಎಸ್ ಮೇಡಮ್.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, organizers of Suprayoga 2.0, students and faculty of Global Academy of Technology, and future managers of India. I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to address such a vibrant and energizing audience. For a graying babu like myself, to meet and interact with the enthusiasm of youth is just what the doctor ordered. Though I am not with you in person, I am with you in spirit and inhaling some of the josh that is in the air this evening. But it also makes me a little sad, because josh is not low-hanging fruit. Transcending limitations within and without is not easy, even when you are young, especially when you are young. A few weeks ago, I addressed a group of young engineers and managers like yourselves. When the program was over, I was surrounded by a group of students who wanted to know how to write the civil services exams and so forth. Then, from that young group, a young man suddenly spoke up shyly. Madam, how to overcome fear of failure? This young man, I must say, showed no external signs of a nervous personality. Well built, smartly dressed, there was nothing that could have given a casual observer a clue as to the fear that was eating away at this young man's psyche. At that moment, he put his faith and trust in me and revealed his vulnerability. When Dr. Neena Prasad invited me to Suprayoga 2.0, centered on the theme of Josh, I thought of this young man. What is the Suprayoga? The good, the dexterous management of transcending of our limitations. On the one hand, we have the expectations of society, our family, our peer group weighing down on us, pushing us to succeed, be studious, get placement, settle down. When we become professionals, there is the pressure of targets, projects to manage and bills to pay. We must perform, whether it is the beginning of the week or the end of a long, exhausting one. On the other hand, those very expectations mute our souls. They stifle us from discovering our potential, from aiming high, from imagining beyond the limits of the ordinary and aspire to the extraordinary. This is a question which troubled me from the time that I was a very young girl, much before I could find the vocabulary to articulate it. There seemed to be a dichotomy between what my teachers, parents, friends, the societal system wanted me to achieve and what they would allow me to achieve. Let me give you an illustration. I was not yet 20 years old, doing my undergraduate studies at that time. I was a very good student on my way to being the university topper and gold medalist. My parents were supportive and encouraging. Like most middle class families, education was a prized accomplishment in our family. But in entered an officious though well-meaning uncle whose values and priorities were quite different. He took up a mission to get me married as quickly as possible. And to my dismay and astonishment, my parents simply gave way. They deferred to the family elder, as it were, and I was compelled to get ready, be vetted, get approved, and get married. I still remember an absurd scene. Absurd now in hindsight. 30 odd years ago, it was anxiety rather than absurdity which was my predominant emotion. There I was, pacing up and down with my book in hand. I was studying for my BA finals. I darted out to see the boy, who I hardly glanced at, and darted back again to my book in seconds. This little storm that raged in my teenage teapot was one of my rare moments of confrontation with my parents. For weeks I insisted, I must do my MA, I must do my MA, and finally I convinced them. Doing an MA was the extent of my future as I saw it. It was that horizon which I wanted to achieve. It was not just a dream, it was the essentiality of my future as I conceived it. I did win that particular battle, and I went on to complete my MA, topping the university, and then a postgraduate degree, and then a third one, and then a doctorate. To you it may seem this a little odd, but a higher education and a career was not the normal trajectory of a girl 35 years ago. So you see, my education is a hard-won battle, and perhaps that is the reason I never stopped learning and never lose an opportunity to encourage others towards education as well. So what is the message of my mini morality tale? In the final analysis, it boils down to a choice. That choice can be made only by you. Our lives are made up of choices, big and small. Therefore, harking back to that nervous young man's question, the first best option in life is to look to yourself. Your first client as a manager is yourself. Be your own best friend who inspires you to transcend the physical and psychological hurdles that are keeping you from reaching your goals. Conquer yourself first. I do not mean in a spiritual sense. I mean it in the simple pragmatic sense of doing the thing that you fear. If you are scared of public speaking, do it. If you have spent the last 10 years avoiding mathematics, slog over statistics today. Invest in yourself. Challenge yourself. Believe in yourself. What is amazing about people is, despite the external forces at play in our lives, we can always be influenced by attitude. If you can motivate yourself, your hidden resource is tapped and you are ready to get up and go again with renewed energy and focus. Dear managers of tomorrow, the Suprayoga of transcending limitations is simple. You are managers. You just have to manage yourself. My favorite lines in English poetry are Robert Browning's. Ah, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what is heaven for? I want your reach to exceed your grasp today, for it is the heavens that you are grasping for. Thank you all, and more Josh to you.